I will be doing a spoken word that I wrote entitled Unborn, and it speaks about how sin is birthed into you when you walk in the flesh and not in the spirit. And here it goes. I began to flirt with the world, but then I grew to like him. I was caught up, and instead of abstaining, I chose to pursue a life with sin. You know how the story goes. I then became infatuated with this sinful nature to the point where it became natural. Next thing I know, I was expecting, and I didn't have to question it because I knew I didn't take the proper precautions to prevent it. I was beginning to grow ashamed, and it started to show, and the weight I gained from these burdens became too much for me to hold. My conviction grew every single day, and it hurt so bad that all I could do was fall on my knees and pray. So I did. They say that the trying of your faith produces patience, but I was tired of waiting. I was tired of the morning sickness. I was so sick and tired, but all of a sudden, my appetite for the world vanished. I no longer desired the taste of it. My feet were already swelling from walking in my will instead of leaning on his understanding. Now, understand this. My back was hurting from so many times getting on my knees to say, I'm sorry, Lord, only to go back the next day and feed me and my flesh. You know how they say that you're eating for two? That's 2 times I tried and 2 times I failed because the enemy wanted to sneak back in. He wanted to cramp my thoughts to the point where I became nauseous. All I could do was cry and throw up. So I threw up my hands and I cried out the name Jesus because he was the only one that could save me. I was reminded of how Jesus died for me. 2 hands were nailed to the cross so that I could live for eternity. And that's when I made a decision that would change my entire life. I decided to completely abort that life. So I killed that life inside. Well, it really wasn't life because anything without Christ is really lifeless. I said it really wasn't life because anything without Christ is really life with less. He is the strength of my life. He is my provider, the true Jehovah. And although I don't agree with real life abortions, this was the only murder that I knew God would stand for. So now I stand today with new life growing inside of me. And I know it shows because this time I'm starting to have this extra glow, and it's called peace. God did say I'm the salt and the light. So I thank God for his life, because by his life and by his blood that was shed, I am able to stand against any pressure that tries to block this anointed vessel. There's no denying it. This is his life inside of me. I don't need a test to prove or defend. You are the Father, because this unborn has now been born again. Thank you.